Hello, thank you for joining us today. We're going to go through a Vinyasa style yoga warm-up with a sun salutation flow. I have an assistant here who will be doing some modified poses. So if you are looking for something maybe a little bit easier or a little bit more difficult, watch her. I will be doing the classic poses throughout. We're going to begin in child's pose. So if you just take a breath, take a moment, and find your center, and then join us on the mat for child's pose. So in child's pose, you want to be sitting comfortably on your heels with a little bit of space between your knees. You're going to reach way out in front of you, and then relax your torso in between your knees as you relax your forehead to the floor. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. On the next inhale, we'll come forward onto our forearms with a nice arch in our back in cat bow. Stay here for a breath. And on an exhale, we're going to straighten our arms to regular cat pose and then curl our back up towards the ceiling in cat pose. And then on another exhale, we're going to sink our hips all the way back onto our heels. We're going to go through this sequence after our next breath 3 more times. So inhale onto your hands and knees. Exhale, press through to cow, press to cat pose, and then all the way back to child's pose. 2 more times. Inhaling forward and up, exhaling, curving and down. 1 last time. Inhaling forward and up, exhale, curving the spine, coming all the way back down. Now we're going to reach way out in front of us as we bring our hips directly over our knees, and then sink our hips back as we relax our shoulders and press the mat forward. This is puppy pose, and this is what our upper body should be like in down dog. Stay here for 1 more breath. Then we'll walk our hands up underneath of our shoulders with our wrists below elbows, elbows below our shoulders, and hips comfortably over our knees. We're going to tuck our toes and then lift our hips straight up and then press them back into downward facing dog. You might want to adjust a little bit here, but making sure that you're lifting your hips and then pressing them back. Sliding your shoulders down your back. You can also do what's called walking the dog, which is on an exhale breath, bending one knee, pressing the other heel into the mat. Inhale and lift both heels. Exhale, press the other heel into the mat. Stay here for 2 more breaths. So inhale, raising both heels. Exhale, pressing them into the mat. We're going to inhale and drop our hips. And as we exhale, we're going to step forward with one leg and the other leg and relax into forward fold. We'll hold here for a little bit. You can either relax all the way with your hands resting on the floor, or you can cross your hands and hold underneath your elbows and hang here. Or if you're feeling really flexible, you can take your hands, place them under your feet, and actively pull yourself down. But with every breath, inhaling and lengthening the spine, exhaling and sinking down a little more. On our last breath, as we exhale, we'll release our hands, place them on our upper leg, and on the inhale, keeping our tailbone nice and tucked, slowly roll up to a standing position. We'll exhale and roll our shoulders away from our ears. We'll do 1 resting breath, inhaling our hands up towards the sky through our heart center, and then exhaling them down by our sides. Back into Namaste. We'll inhale our hands down to go up. And as we exhale, we'll sink our hips back and low into chair pose. We'll stay here for about 4 breaths. A couple variations you can do is to see if you can sink a little lower, or roll up onto your toes, or maybe bring your arms all the way behind your ears. Feel the heat in your legs as we stay here and breathe, keeping your knees in line with your toes. One more breath. Then we'll inhale and press from the bases of our feet, extending our hands up towards the sky, and then coming back to a slight chest lift. And we'll exhale, hinging at our waist, coming all the way down into forward fold again. On the inhale, we'll plant our hands in the ground and take a big step back with our right foot. Exhale here in a runner's lunge. We'll stay here for a breath, keeping our knee behind our ankle. Then we'll inhale and send that other foot back and stay here in plank for a breath, keeping our wrists directly below our shoulders. And then on our next exhale, we'll come down into chaturanga with our knees and chest down first. And then you can roll right into an upward facing dog or come into a sphinx, which takes some of the stress off of your back and arms. And then we can tuck our toes and inhale back into a plank position. Then exhale, sending our hips straight up behind us and coming all the way down into downward facing dog. Excellent. We'll inhale, coming back to plank. And as we exhale, we'll send our right foot forward. It might take you 1 or 2 steps to get there, but we'll stay here for a breath in runner's lunge. Again, keeping our knee behind our ankle. Then we'll inhale and walk our other foot forward. And exhale here into forward fold. And you can either slowly roll up like we did before, or join us with a reverse swan dive. Big bend in the knees, flat back, sending our arms out wide as we inhale all the way up, touching our palms, and then exhaling into namaste. We'll go through that 3 more times. So 1 resting breath here, inhaling all the way up to the sky, and exhaling our hands down to our sides and back to our heart center. We'll inhale our hands down to go up. Then we'll exhale, sending our hips back and low into chair, arms forward for counterbalance. Inhale, pressing all the way up into a chest lift. Exhale, hinging at our waist, coming down into a forward fold. We'll inhale and take a big step back with our left foot this time. Exhale here in our runner's lunge. Inhale, send our right foot back to join it. Exhale here, chaturanga, knees, chest, and chin down. Then inhaling forward into upward facing dog or cobra or sphinx. Exhaling, tucking our toes, coming to plank. And then inhaling, sending our hips straight up behind us to downward facing dog. Exhale here, sliding our shoulders down our back. Inhale, bring yourself back into a plank position. On the exhale, we'll stay here. On our next inhale, we'll send our left leg forward. Exhale here in a runner's lunge. Inhale, send your right leg forward to join it. Exhale here in forward fold. On the inhale, slight bend in the knees and either slowly roll up or reverse swan dive. Touching our palms at the top, we'll exhale back into our heart center. We'll do this once more on each side. 1 resting breath, inhaling up to the sky. Exhaling, hands falling to our sides and then coming back into our heart center. We'll inhale our hands down to go up. Exhale, we'll sink our hips back and low, keeping our knees in line with our toes in chair pose. Inhale, pressing through the floor, coming to a slight chest lift. Exhaling, hinging at our waist in forward fold. This time you can either take a step back with your right foot or float back. Sarah will demonstrate floating. Exhale here in runner's lunge if you're with me, or stay in plank as we come into plank. We'll exhale here as we come down in chaturanga, knees, chest, and chin down, and then inhaling to upward facing dog or sphinx. Exhale, tucking your toes, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, staying here, hips up, shoulders back and down. Inhale, coming back into plank. And again, you can float up or you can exhale here. And on the inhale, you can float up or you can send your right foot forward into a runner's lunge. Exhale here. Inhale, bringing your other leg forward. And then exhale into a forward fold. On the inhale, breath, slight bend in the knees. Arms out wide for reverse swan dive, or you can slowly roll up. Exhale, hands into our heart center. One resting breath, and we'll do this one more time. Inhaling our hands up towards the sky through our heart center, exhaling them down to our sides, and then back to our heart center, inhaling down to go up. And as we exhale here, we'll sink our hips back and low into a chair pose. Arms up, inhaling, pressing through the base of the floor, extending to a slight chest lift, and then we'll exhale, hinging forward in a forward fold. Inhale, planting both hands on either side. You can take a big step back with your left leg or float back. Exhale here in runner's lunge, or stay in plank as we inhale, send the other foot back. And as we exhale, knees, chest, and chin down in chaturanga. Inhale, coming through to Sphinx, Cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, coming to plank. Inhale, sending our hips straight up and then back in down dog. As we exhale, slide our shoulders down our back, heels towards the floor. Inhale, coming back to a plank position. And as we exhale, we can send our left leg forward, or we can send or float up. Exhale here. Inhale, bring the other leg forward. Exhale and forward fold together. And on an inhale breath, slight bend in the knees. Another reverse swan dive, or slowly roll up. Exhale, bring your hands into your heart center. And namaste. You're now ready to take on the next part of your workout. Thank you for joining us.
Give it 2 seconds, sit there for 2 seconds, and then go.
Welcome